What is up, guys? My name is Wumbo, and today I have the wonderful privilege of talking about this absolutely crazy No Man's Sky multiplayer controversy. So PS4 players have finally gotten their hands on the game, and when two players found themselves on the exact same planet and weren't able to see each other, everyone raised their pitchforks and started ripping into Sean Murray's claim that multiplayer exists in any capacity in No Man's Sky. I'm going to fill you in on what went down and everything we know at this point, and I'm also going to talk a little bit about what I think of the situation, why I think that this isn't just an argument over whether or not Sean Murray is a liar. So the day that No Man's Sky came out for PS4, the impossible happened. Sean Murray said that it would be incredibly rare, and on the first day that the game was released, two Twitch streamers happened to find each other. Not only did the two players find each other on the first day, but they both did live streaming on Twitch. What are the odds? Anyway, so after some communication, Cytocat and the Galactic Cactus staged a meetup, and they both live streamed the event. The problem was that despite the two's best efforts and despite multiple calculated attempts, the two players were never able to see each other. Throughout the streams, viewers watched the players stand in the same space stations, speak with the same NPCs, and stop by identical waypoints, only to never actually see each other. The other interesting thing was that the two players had different day cycles. While it was daytime for one, it was nighttime for another. Given this and the fact that you can pause the game, you'd come to the conclusion that the game has no multiplayer in any capacity at all. The game doesn't require a PlayStation Plus subscription, and the game is even listed as single player on Steam. So then why did Sean Murray say, multiple times in the past, that players could see each other if they happened to cross paths? Sean also claimed that there were many cool Easter eggs and other tidbits built into the game for if players came across each other. Was Sean Murray blatantly lying? People have done network tests with the game and have seemingly verified that the game doesn't send location data at all times. Sean's only comments pertaining to the situation were made on Twitter towards the end of the first day of release. Sean said, and I quote, "Two players finding each other on a stream in the first day. That has blown my mind. We added a scan for other players in the galactic map to try to encourage this happening. We wanted it to happen, but the first day, we want people to be aware they are in a shared universe. We added online features and some Easter eggs to create cool moments. We hope to see those happening, but too many of you are playing right now, more than we could have predicted. It is a testament to how amazing our network coders are that discoveries are still working at all." Based on these comments, we can conclude that Sean is claiming the problem with seeing other players was a result of network problems. This could theoretically be true, considering that players had spotty connections to the No Man's Sky servers for a majority of the first day of release. So, now that I've presented what we know, I want to get into what I think of the situation. So as I see it, there are really 5 potential arguments that can be made. So number 1, it doesn't matter because this game isn't supposed to be about multiplayer in the first place. While this is technically true, if you're going into this game for multiplayer, you're playing the wrong game. This argument is really irrelevant to this conversation because regardless of the motive for playing that you have, according to Sean Murray, you are supposed to be able to see other players if you come across them in the universe. People aren't complaining about your motive for playing the game. People are complaining that when Sean said something would happen in a specific situation, it didn't happen. Number 2, the players didn't see each other because they weren't in the correct location. While this may have seemed true at first due to differing flora and generation for certain vegetation, the players have been streaming frequently and have showcased seeing the same natural features and have been playing at the same time of day on the planet. The players are, in fact, at the same location. Number 3, the players didn't see each other because of network problems. This is the argument that Sean seems to be making. While it is true that network problems could have existed, evident by the fact that Sean posted a picture of a network engineer a bit shocked by the server traffic on launch day, even before this whole incident happened, this argument wouldn't explain why, as far as we know, player location information isn't always sent. Sean has suggested in the past that this game uses instances to instantaneously put you online with just a handful of other players, but shouldn't the players have been on the same instance if they were right next to each other? It could have been network problems, and network problems could have maybe skewed results of people testing what information the game sends to the cloud. So at this point, this argument is the most valid we've addressed, but it still seems fairly unlikely. Number 4, Sean Murray lied from the beginning, and multiplayer was never in the game at all. I originally thought this argument was valid, but the fact that people have been given copies of the game that have stickers covering text that reads online play, it tells us that online play would more have likely been a feature that was originally in the game but was removed or just never addressed. And this leads me to the most valid argument in my opinion. Number 5. Sean Murray and Hello Games had originally planned for full multiplayer support, allowing players to see others in the universe if they happened to meet. But plans changed or time became an issue, and multiplayer wasn't able to be implemented immediately at launch. This is the most plausible argument for a couple of reasons. Firstly, it coincides with interviews that Sean Murray did years ago in which he wholeheartedly, unequivocally claims that multiplayer is a part of No Man's Sky. His vision was probably to include server instances at launch, to include the ability to see other players at launch, and therefore in these older interviews, he simply described what he envisioned multiplayer would be like at release. Secondly, this argument is compatible with the fact that players can be on different planet times, day or night. Players can see different generated vegetation and such, and players can always pause the game. If multiplayer was supposed to be implemented by launch, the time of planets would at the very least match that of the other players in your instance. This argument also falls in line with Sean Murray's tweets in that Sean Murray was likely never addressing why the two players couldn't see each other at all. He was simply commenting that he was shocked that the two players met, and then he talked about how many people were playing the game. He never meant to directly address that issue. Sean Murray could just be being tight-lipped about the situation due to legal requirements, but he also could just be genuinely shocked that two players met each other on the first day. While he would have liked to have finished multiplayer by launch day, Sean was probably just praying that two people didn't come across each other until multiplayer was finally implemented. So that's what I think. Sean really didn't lie, but he just didn't have an idea as to what he'd be able to finish by launch day. We look at No Man's Sky like a AAA title based on the hype around the game, but we have to remember that this is an indie game. It's developed by 20 or so people. While we should make sure Sean and the team give us the game we paid for, we all should consider that the work Sean and Hello Games have done, it's incredible in and of itself. And instead of hating on No Man's Sky as a whole, we should focus on making sure that we maintain as much transparency as possible between us and the developers that make the games we love. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like and share it with your friends. I'd really appreciate your help in getting this video out there. While you're at it, subscribe if you are interested in videos like this. My name is Wumbo. I'll see you next time.